Rightio, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Righto, first question. Do you remember your first cricket memory, and can you tell us what it is?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think the earliest memory I have of playing the game is with my dad chucking balls and me just having a plastic bat and just smashing them. That's about it. I mean, that's a vague memory I have of starting the game off. And yeah, that's very special to me because I've been told since I had any understanding of things, I've just held a cricket bat and started swinging at balls. So yeah, that's my first memory.
Nice.
Okay, my turn. All right. Do you remember the moment growing up when you decided to become a cricketer?
Oh, probably when I was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
I think that's all I ever wanted to do. Probably similar to your first memories.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I picked up a cricket bat as soon as I could, hold one, and I never just wanted to put it down.
Yeah.
My old man up at the nets throwing me balls.
Yeah.
He used to bowl to me every afternoon after school, and just progressed through the ranks. So always wanted to be a cricketer, and yeah, I guess here we are.
Yeah, that's it. Clarity.
Rightio.
Go ahead. Okay.
What do you recall of the 2008 Under-19s World Cup? While we didn't play against each other in that tournament, do you remember us meeting there? And was this when you knew cricket was going to be your career, or did you know earlier than that?
Oh, well, it's the second part of the question is interesting because I always knew that I wanted to play the game at the highest level. I wanted to represent the Indian cricket team, and I used to dream of having that shirt on and winning games for India.
Yeah.
So that was my motivation, and the time that I really thought I'm definitely going to make this a career is when my father passed away, and that's the time I realized I've got to get serious about this and actually make it a proper commitment. My focus cannot shift.
What year was that?
That was 2006. I just turned 18, and it was tough, but it somehow just put things in perspective, naturally. And I just became single-minded from then on, focused to just play for India and play for a long time. I didn't even think that I'm gonna get dropped from the team or anything like that. It was like pure motivation and the will to just move forward. And the first part of the question, I think the only time we all interacted was, we played a practice game. No, we played against England, not you guys.
Academy, was it? When you were in Brisbane, I reckon, maybe?
Brisbane was the time that we actually interacted, but that was after the World Cup. But the time that we met during the World Cup was when we were all lined up in the stadium for the inauguration. And your team was lined up, and I saw you and Josh, and Josh wasn't there, was he?
Yeah,
Josh
was there.
Yeah.
Phil Hughes.
Yeah, Phil Hughes was there as well. And yeah, I saw all you guys, and then we just walked past and lined up. But I think our first interaction was at the academy. You, Davey, I remember Moses was there.
Yep.
The few guys, Matthew Wade was there.
Yep.
Steve O'Keefe,
Yep.
Uzi.
That's
that
it.
Was a fun
Good memory.
time.
Good memory.
I loved it. I loved that camp. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Rightio. Nice.
Okay. My turn. The ICC had put up a video of you and I saying who our favorite players were. Do you remember who you said? What was it about Phil Simmons?
Yeah, I said Phil Simmons. I think I was having a joke with someone at that stage, so I don't think that was entirely true. I reckon around that time my favourite player probably would have been, I really loved watching Sachin play, and Ricky Ponting, I think, were my two favourites at that stage. So yeah, I don't know why I said that. I think I was having a joke with someone at that stage, so told a little porky, but yeah, that's how it was, I guess.
Okay, your turn. Okay.
What do you see as that first innings or match where you felt like you belonged at the international level?
It was quite early in my career, actually. I remember I had played the first series against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, and that's the first time I ever opened in cricket. I'd never opened the innings before that, and the chance I got to open was for India.
One day game?
Yeah, one day game. Yep. And I wasn't even going to play, and I remember Virender Sehwag at practice a day before the game, he went to stop the ball close to the rope, and he twisted his ankle, and MS just walked past and he's like, "Will you open?" I said, "I just want to play." And he said, "Go on, then you're going to open." So I played 5 games. I did decently well, but then I was out of the team for a while because the full strength squad came back. And I made my comeback in 2009 Champions Trophy. Yuvraj Singh broke his finger, and my comeback game was against Pakistan. And I remember getting out on 16, trying to hit Shahid Afridi over his head for 6, got it long off, we lost the game. And till 5 in the morning, I was just looking at the ceiling. I was like, I'm done. That's it. I'm gone. And then 2 days after that was a game against West Indies at Johannesburg. Fresh pitch, and Kemar Roach had just come in, and I thought, okay, let's go. This is my chance. It's not the full strength West Indies squad, and I can really get some runs here. And I was just waiting, padded up, and the first ball he bowled was 153 clicks, and I was like, how the hell am I gonna ever score runs at this level? But then, yeah, he hit me first ball in the bicep, a short ball. And then I don't know why, he bowled me a slower ball the next ball, and I hit it for 4, and I got relaxed, and then I scored, I think, 80 odd not out.
Yeah.
That was my first man of the match as well. Then I thought, okay, if I can do this more often, I'm surely I can go on for a long time at this level.
Yeah, and that gave you the confidence.
It did. I mean, because these guys were new, but they still had pace.
Yep.
And it was my first few games at that level. But to still counter those conditions and come out on top and remain not out was something that gave me a lot of confidence that I can finish games, I can, play in difficult situations. So,
Yep.
yeah, it does boost your belief up when you have all these seniors in the team, but still you go get the job done as well. So,
of course.
Yeah, that is the game.
Nice.
Okay, my turn. I guess you've seen the question already.
Saw the start of it.
When you came into the international circuit, Shane Warne had just retired. Given you a bowling leg spin, do you remember what that early expectation was, and how did you handle it? Because I remember you at the academy doing your 1-2 and going through your leg spin action properly, and everyone was like, this guy's the new Shane Warne, and we were like, wow. And then now, 10 years later, you averaged 16 Test cricket. So I want to know how you made that change as well.
Yeah, interesting one. So I've always seen myself as more of a batsman.
From the start?
From the start. As a kid growing up, I always batted, but bowled as well, because I wanted to be involved in the game as much as possible. Yeah. So I bowled quick until I was about 14 or 15, then started bowling spin at that stage. And then Australia went through a bit of a, it was a sort of turnstile of spinners going through with after Shane Warne finished, and I was a blonde little pudgy leg spinner, so I fit the bill, looked a bit like him in a way, so people were like, oh, next Shane Warne. I never really believed that, but no, I love bowling, particularly when I was bowling well, I loved it, but leg spin just takes so much work. You got to do it so much and to get better at it, and I didn't want to sort of let my batting slip at the same time, so I was kind of a bits and pieces player when I first started, and then it was 2012 where I decided I got dropped. I played 2 tests as a spinner, 3 tests as an all-rounder. I was batting at 6 and got dropped, and I thought, right, what's my best way to get back into the Australian side and sort of have a successful career? And I thought, right, it's time to let go of spin. And I had so many people saying, don't do it, you need to keep focusing on different parts of your game. And I was like, this is my decision, and I want to be the best batsman that I can be. And it's training wise, it's too much time to focus on fielding, which I love doing, batting and bowling all at the same time. So I made that decision, and then I barely bowl in the nets now, every now and again, but just wanted to be the best batter I could be, and it was a big decision, but one I guess I'm happy with now.
Was it instinctive, that decision? Did you feel it strongly?
I did, yeah. I think it was. I always wanted to be a batsman. I thought that was my, that was my strength and what I love doing. So yeah, like I said, it was too hard doing all the training for everything. You're only at the cricket nets for. Or at a training with the team for 4 hours, 5 hours or whatever. And you just couldn't fill all the slots, and I just wanted to face balls. I just wanted to bat the whole time.
Yeah, I heard you bat for 3 out of those 4 hours. So
sometimes
it makes sense to let go of bowling.
That's it. So I'm pretty happy with the decision now.
That's good. Good for world cricket.
Rightio.
Cheers.
A lot of Australian fans got announced to you with your ODI 100 against Sri Lanka in Hobart. I remember that one. That was a serious knock. Is that your best or favourite innings? If not, which one is? There's been a few.
Yeah, in ODI cricket there's been a few, but I think that was the start of me really feeling like, okay, now I can probably go on and play the way I want to play at this level. Till then, yes, you have belief and you know that you're going to be in the team, you're going to be in the system, but then you want to become that main player in your team, and that was always my mindset, because I've always tried to be the guy who wins the game for the team, right
Yeah.
from age group cricket to under 19s to first class cricket and to India as well.
Yeah.
So that really gave me confidence, saying, okay, hold on, if I can do it against the likes of Malinga and the best in the world, then surely I can keep doing this more and more. But the thing is that I tried to remember every time I did something like that. So I didn't want to be a guy who just played a few innings by chance, because you have the talent when you're playing at this level. So it shouldn't be a case of, if it's your day, you do it, and if it's not, you have no idea how you did it like 3 days back. So I started learning from my innings a lot, and the one that's more special to me was straight after, like a month and a half after, was in the Asia Cup against Pakistan, where I got 183 against all these guys. You know, the Pakistan team, we were chasing 330 and we chased it down, and that really told me, okay, hold on, this is going somewhere which I wanted to go. But I mean, you might not like it. I want to point out my most favorite is that T20 we played in Mohali.
Jeez, that was some knock, yeah.
I don't know. It was literally like I went into a trance mode. Like, you feel like things are looking difficult, and then you just think about committing to what the team needs. And I still don't understand how it happened till date.
Yeah.
And it was like everything I was hitting was going into gaps, and
Yeah.
I just went into a zone which even I couldn't break down after. So I felt like that was so special, because it's rarely you get into that kind of space while batting when you're under pressure and everything's coming off.
Yeah.
You know, so that probably is my most favorite limited overs innings.
That's a nice place to be when you're in that sort of mindset, isn't it?
It's amazing. As a batsman, I mean, we get that a lot in Test cricket, because you go through the grind, and then there comes a phase where, you know, after lunch you're literally like hitting where you want to. But I think in one day cricket, it's very difficult to get into that zone straight away. Yeah. So yeah, I felt like I got into that zone there, and as you rightly said, as a batsman, it's just bliss. It's amazing.
When you say you like to remember those innings, do you write a lot of things down? And
I don't, because if I felt it that strongly and I committed to it that strongly, it should be in my system. Yeah. You know, I'm not a fan of going back and reading stuff and be like, okay, I was thinking like, because life's changing every day, and I don't believe in being in the same mold that I was at a time when I played really well. Yeah. For me, it's about adapting to situations and trying to make sure that I break down situations and find out a way to overcome that situation for my team. I used to do that when I was younger, you know, try and stick to a template which made me feel good at a certain stage in my career and try and repeat the things that I did. But it doesn't really work out.
Stops you from growing a bit, doesn't it?
Exactly, because you're 24 then, and then after 30 you're like, but I don't like doing those things anymore, so why am I thinking about that? So I like to remember myself and, you know, just on the day, let all that come back to me and just apply it to any situation.
Nice way to be.
Yeah, cheers. Good. Okay, my turn. Many people would say that the 100 you scored versus England in Perth in 2013 announced you to the Aussie fans. Do you agree? And the second part is, and looking back now, do you still wonder how you did it given you changed your technique mid-innings? What was that?
Yeah, I remember the 100. I don't know if that was, for me personally, I think my 100 at Centurion against South Africa was where I felt as though I belonged.
Was that the same year?
It was about a month after, I reckon.
After, okay.
We toured South Africa, Stain, Morkel, Verlander, some quality bowlers, and to score 100 when the team was under pressure. I think we were 4 for 90. I came in at number 6, and Sean Marsh and I both got hundreds, and I think that's where I felt as though I belonged. Yeah. But yeah, the one where I changed my technique, I used to bat just on middle stump and not move at all and stay very still. I'd probably only a few months before got rid of a bat tap, and I now held my hands just up. But they were bowling some shorter stuff, and I was struggling to get out of the way of it, Broad and Stokes in particular. So I thought, geez, I need to get myself in a bit of a better position to one, play the pull shot, or two, get out of the way of the ball. So I thought, why don't I go to Midland leg and just go a bit back and across my stumps, get myself in a good position. And I started doing it, and they'd pitch a few up and I'd be able to get my weight through the ball. And when they bowled short, I was getting in good positions and pulling well, and everything just sort of clicked into place. And that was the start of my prelim movement. It's got bigger and bigger over time, but yeah, that was the start of it, and sort of been doing it ever since. So it was just that one innings where I'd never practiced it in my life. I just had an instinctive thing to do it out in the middle, and yeah, it clicked into place.
Yeah, it's always instinctive, isn't it? I mean, it happens to batsmen so much that you just think of, it almost comes to you, the message. It's like, do this with your game and things will get sorted out. And you try it on the morning of the game and then you're like, okay, let me go and have a bat with this, and boom, it's like pure. I never had anyone point out something drastic in my technique. It was always about self-realization and what I felt like I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
So was it similar for you? Like instinctively you felt like, I'm going to do this to get myself into better
Yeah,
position?
it was. I think part of playing in different conditions and stuff, you have to adapt and play.
Yeah.
You know, you can't play the same everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
So I think you probably do the same. Just you adapt to what's in front of you and how you need to play. So for that, at that point in time, I felt getting in that position was going to be beneficial, but it was for a certain ball, but then everything just clicked into place. So when they bowled full, I was in good position to defend. I was leaving well. I knew where my off stump was. I could get my weight through the ball. So that was a big change for me. But yeah, of course, you've got to adapt to all different conditions, don't you?
Correct.
Rightio. Next one. In the 2014-15 series here in Australia, you and I both made 4 Test centuries each. Can you take us inside what it was like for you that series individually, and what it feels like for you to be in the zone or feeling like you're not going to get out?
Well, it was it was interesting because so I visualize a lot, and I was preparing for that series because that was straight after that England tour of mine in 2014, and Australia is even bigger. And I knew things are not going to be easy because it's Test cricket at the highest level. I mean, playing in Australia is far more difficult than any other place because of the environment and the crowd getting behind you guys, and that's people don't realize how much of a challenge that is.
Yeah.
Like just the on-field stuff is still okay.
Yeah.
But then you have this whole crowd. They know exactly how to get into a batsman's head when you walk in.
Yeah.
To get behind the bowler. These things can't be taught. So you understand that you're going in there against the whole stadium. So that was definitely something that I had to overcome. And then it's funny because I visualized for 2 months, and then we prepared so much to play the first test. And then I walk in, I think 4 balls before lunch, and Mitchell Johnson hit me first ball in the head. And I just stood there thinking, I prepared for 2.5 months, and the first ball hits me in the head. It's like, what the hell is going on? But then you either go fight or flight. I mean, I literally stood there. I was pissed off with myself that I prepared for so long. How can I not even get bat on ball or get out of the way? And then I was like, that's it. I want lunch to finish. And then I just told myself I'm going to start taking him on now.
Yeah.
Because he was probably in his best
peak,
bowling form. Yeah. I mean, coming from that England Ashes and to South Africa, and it was just blasting people away. And then I thought, if I don't stand up here and start taking him on, you can't stand and defend him all day because he's going to get you at some stage. He can come back at any stage and start bowling bounces to you.
Yeah.
So I made a decision there that, okay, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to take the game forward, and let's see what happens. And yeah, that tour was very special for me. That really made me realize that I have the mental strength to keep bouncing back.
Yeah.
Because you can tend to sort of go down the spiral very quickly at the international level. And that told me that no, I can bounce back. I do have the mental strength. And then it was great because although we lost a couple of test matches, we drew 2 and we lost 2. We lost Brisbane, we lost Adelaide, and then we drew Sydney and we drew Melbourne as well. Yeah. So it was a nice series to be part of because the crowds were there, and everyone loved watching that series. And then we were a young team. MS didn't play the first test. I remember leading and telling the guys we're going to go for the target on day 5.
Yep.
Because there was no chance you're going to defend on that kind of pitch with
was
Nathan
good
Bowling.
rough, wasn't there?
Yeah, proper rough. So yeah, we just found out a bit about ourselves as a test side because we were number 7 at that stage. And that series onwards, we really started to go up the rankings and started believing that yes, we can compete, we can play well anywhere in the world. So yeah, personally for me, it was a very special series because I visualized something which came true.
Yep.
And that's always very satisfying as a batter.
Of course.
Yep. My turn. Okay. You also had great individual success against India away from home in 2017. I've heard you talk about the bubble you get into, even on some of those pitches in Pune and Ranchi. Were you still in that bubble at the time?
Yeah, we were touching on it a bit before, weren't we? When you get in that space where, you just feel, it's not invincible, but it's feel like everything you're doing is sort of working in your favour. You can hit the ball in a gap, and always a bit of luck involved, of course. I think I remember the Pune innings. I reckon a few of your boys dropped me, I reckon 4 or 5 times. I think I got 4 or 5 good 20s.
But it's funny because when you're in that headspace, you do get dropped as well.
Yep.
Because you're so optimistic about how things are going to pan out.
Yep.
If you're nervous, you nick the first one and it's a blinder of a catch. So I understand.
That's it. So no, it was I was in a nice place. Just felt in a good place to go out and perform. And that first wicket in Pune was actually an unbelievable. I love playing cricket on those wickets. It's great fun when the ball's just spinning past your bat and. Not high scoring games. There's a challenge. It's a good contest between bat and ball. I think it was amazing. To get in that space is what you're always, I guess, searching for. We touched it before. It's a great place to be in, and when you can get in there and do it for long periods of time, then you hold yourself in good stead to score big runs. But I got in that space. I reckon probably in Ranchi as well. That wicket was probably a bit better. I don't think it spun quite as much.
To start off maybe on
the end of the game, I reckon. But first innings, that was a flat wicket, so you got to cash in on those ones. But it was a good series. I really loved that series. Love playing in India. Obviously, it's a great place to play cricket.
Yeah, it's passionate people. They love watching their cricket, especially when Australia comes in. It's always a series that everyone likes to watch. Similar to here as well. So. Yeah, it was good to watch you bat. I mean, not too much when you're playing against, but when you think back, it was a display of proper skill.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Your turn.
Me.
Yep.
Rightio. What prompted you to approach the Indian crowd and ask them to stop booing me when we played our World Cup match? I appreciate that, by the way. I think I remember I sent you a message that night saying, mate, thanks for that. That was top class. So.
Nah, no worries.
Thanks.
I mean, look, things happen on the field, and you have your moments against opponents that you play, and then to me, there was an incident that happened, and you guys realized obviously what had happened, and you came back after a long time, having gone through everything that you had to. And I feel like in life, nothing can be that permanent that you carry that on for life. People make mistakes and they learn from it. And I just felt like it's not fair to target an individual personally. That's what I felt in that moment, and instinctively I told them not to boo you because you're fielding there for quite a bit. And then it was just instinctive, because as much as you play against each other, there's a human side to things as well. And at the end of the day, we're here chatting now. We do have a chat. I mean, a few times during the IPL as well. So there's always instances where you're going to keep meeting individuals. Yes, you're competitive on the field, but you don't want to go nasty as such, So that is one of the things which I realized. Long term, like, you do realize the importance of things from a larger perspective, and I felt like that wasn't right to do that in that moment.
I appreciate that, mate.
No worries.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay. How did you learn to adapt and absorb the reaction from the crowd at the World Cup when you played your first international match back from your year off?
Yeah, I think for me it's, I love playing in front of crowds. It was actually really tough during, IPL and stuff where there's no crowds and there's no one to, you almost go to another level because you feel like, you're there to entertain people at the ground. Obviously there's people watching on television, but they're not creating the atmosphere as such at the ground. So for me, I just love the noise, regardless of what people are saying or doing. If it's negative towards me, it's just noise. And I love that there's noise there and people are watching you. And I like obviously there was a lot of negative stuff towards me when I first came back, and I like to prove people wrong. So it's kind of like, you guys are booing me, screw you. Like, I'm going to try and do whatever I can to either keep you quiet or maybe even make you come at me even more. I just want to perform and entertain. So, I guess that's the way it was, and just not letting them get to me negatively in any way. Stay in a positive mindset and just, I'm out there doing what I love and playing the game of cricket. So just go out and play and have fun and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been tough, man. Okay.
All
go
good.
on.
Rightio. Do you get the sense that there is some form of expectation from the Indian fans and the cricketing world every time you bat, and how do you deal with that?
I was asked this question recently as well. Look, you've been to India. You've seen the number of people that I mean, even just in the IPL, that get behind your particular franchise.
Yeah.
So imagine now that the whole fan base getting behind you as one.
Yeah.
I've always felt like if I focus on that too much, then I won't be able to play one ball, because then you're thinking of so many expectations. And there's a reason why they expect things from me, is because I can do good things on the field, which eventually give them happiness if we win.
Yeah.
So my job is to focus on the skill, and the after stuff will take care of itself. The result, the adulation or criticism, whatever from people is a later result. So I can't think of it while walking out of bat. But the instances where, you know, people give you demands like, you get a double hundred, okay, now we need a triple hundred, and you know, stuff like that. So you're walking into bat and there's like all kinds of demands while walking in, that you're going to do this on the field now, we want you to get 100 and stuff like that. So I used to get a bit bothered by it before, but now I walk in thinking, well, I'm in control of what I need to do till a certain level. So I'm going to put all my commitment and my work into trying to, you know, get the team into a better position and perform for my team so that the team can win. Yeah. But the expectations, the amount of fans that we have all over the world, not just in India. Yeah. It's not humanly possible to focus on that. No chance. Yeah. Focus on the job at hand. Absolutely. Okay. Last question. Who will score the most runs, most wickets, and who will take more wickets, you or Marnus Labuschagne, if Tim Payne gives you the ball? Oh, from your team. Who will score the most runs? Yeah. Oh. I know you'd like to be that guy, but of course. I don't know. Most wickets. Let's hope I don't bowl. If I bowl, you guys are playing some pretty good cricket, I reckon. But look, I think it's going to be a great series. I think we've got two really good pace attacks going at it, some quality batsmen, and obviously unfortunate you're only here for one test. But also credit to you for making that decision to go home and be with your wife for the birth of your first child. I think it's a milestone, and I'm sure you've had a lot of pressure to stay and play and stuff. But as you said before, we're human beings and have lives outside of cricket, and I'm sure you'd be kicking yourself if you miss the birth of your first child. So, make credit to you for that. Thank you. But I don't know, most runs, I'm not sure. We'll see. I think it's just going to be a great series. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I agree. Rightio. Finally, Virat, some predictions. Most wickets, most runs in this series, and will you retain the Border Gavaskar trophy? We'd love to, because last time around it was a great series for us. I know you and David didn't play, but we still played against this bowling attack, which was as lethal as you've had in the last few years. Yeah. Continues to be the same, so that's definitely going to be a challenge that we would like to overcome, because we know exactly what to expect with your bowlers, and with Starkey, Pat, Josh, and then Nathan Lyon bowling the way they have bowled in the past so many years. Yeah. So that's a challenge in itself. You and Davey, whenever he comes back into the series, makes the team stronger. So that's another challenge to overcome. But I think it's great for world cricket, because we won the series last time here, and now that you guys have even stronger squad, allows us to test ourselves again in these conditions and see how good we have been as a team over the last one and a half years or so. So look, most runs, I don't know. I mean, it could be anyone. I'm quite excited to see how Jinx goes. I think he's someone who'll enjoy the responsibility of captaining when I'm away, and he's played well here in the past. He has played well, and I think it's his time to really step up, and I think he'll relish that opportunity. But the one guy I'm really looking forward to seeing bat here is Hanuma Vihari. I think he's a quite solid player and quite exciting and coming up. And most wickets, I mean, like the last time around, we'd love it to be shared, because then that the team's heading in the right direction and you're playing some really good cricket. But as you rightly pointed out, it's going to be a very exciting series, and very, very enjoyable for people to watch. The best thing is we have crowds here, which is, as you rightly pointed out, it's amazing. I've always been a fan of playing in front of crowds, and even in the IPL, it was a bit strange initially not to have anyone in the stadium. So, yeah, it's a great boost for everyone playing and watching. And yeah, thanks for your wishes for the birth of our child as
Pleasure,
well.
mate.
Yeah, it's a decision that was absolutely clear in my mind. I mean, as committed as you are to play for your country, you know, this is a very, very special moment in life, and something that you want to be there for at any cost. And yeah, it's a blessed time, and we're very excited for it.
It's great, mate. Rightio.
Cheers.
Thanks for having a chat, mate.
Cheers.
Brilliant.